Okay, today I'm going to see if I can sort this out. It's quite a nice piano stool and it lifts up. The wood's not too bad, but that bit needs reupholstered, and then there's a bit inside that's a bit damaged. So I think I'll take this catch off and I'll see if I can sort the wood out in here. And I'll give it a bit of a rub down and then I'll reseal the wood. So let's see how it goes. Looks like this catch has gone a bit funny, so what I'll do is see if I can hammer that back in there. Okay, it's gone back in there, but it could potentially come back out again. So what I'll do is just hammer here to create a bit of a burr over the top, so then it's less likely to come out again. Right, it seems to have worked okay. Now I was thinking, how can I get this out? But it looks like it just slots in. This is coming apart a bit here and here. So I figured out, I think, if I just tap here, it should come off, and then I'll re-glue it all afterwards. Okay, there you go, you can see the dowel joints here. I'll glue all those back up and put it back in. Okay, then this should just slot out. And then I'll cut a new bit and slot it back in, and then I'll then glue these up and then clamp it together. So I've managed to find this bit of wood. What I'll do is just put that over the top, draw around it, and then cut this out. Okay, let's see how it fits in. I've slightly rounded the edges, the other one was round, and then I've just sanded all the edges down so they're nice and smooth. It's slightly thicker than the other bit, so hopefully it will go in. Let's try it. So I've just got to pull it all into shape, and then when I put the end on, just make sure it's all snug in there. Okay, I might glue all this now. I'm just going to glue the end back on. It just needed to be pulled in slightly with a strap. So I'm just doing that so that then that lines up accurately. Okay, let's see if this lines up and goes in. Sure that this bit lines up as well. Okay, I'll take that off because that was just holding it in while I put it together. And then now I'll put it in place here and tighten it up. I'll put the ratchet up the end where I want it to be glued, or where the glue is, because it tends to sort of pull it tighter in that area. I've put another strap around it just to hold it all in firmly. Okay, that should hold it all. I'll just put it out the way over here. And then we can have a look at this and see what we can do with the top. I think I'll take the trim off and then see where we are with the upholstery, and then see what the padding's like. I've got some more of this left, so I'm going to use this to upholster the top. make sure I pull it into the right position, and I've got enough here, and then I'll cut that straight as well, so it's nice clean lines. Okay, I've lined all that up there, and then what I'll do is just fold this over and then just trim it off. I'll make sure I've just cut it just over, and then I can always trim it afterwards. Okay, I'm going to try doing it this way. It might be a bit easier to do it that way up.
Why don't we give it another shot? Why don't we give it all we got? I won't ever forget what I've lost. Why don't we give it one more shot?
Just need another staple in there to hold it all together. Okay, now just for this end, I'll make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now I'll tap them all in. Okay, let's trim it all off now and make it look nice.
Why don't we give it one more shot?
Okay, that looks pretty good. And once we then get the trim on, that'll hide all the staples and then the jaggedy bit of material. Okay, this has been drying now overnight. Let's see what it's like. Great, that's solid. That's worked well. Okay, I'll give it a good clean up now. But that base looks really good. Just this bit here. You can't see the join where I've glued it at all. Okay, I'll take this outside now. I'll give it a rub down with some wire wool and turpentine, let it dry out, and then I'll reseal it all with some teak oil.
Why don't we give it another shot?
I'll just give it a brush down.
We give it all we've got.
Now I'll use a damp cloth just to pick up any excess sawdust. I will let this dry out now. You can see where I've rubbed this down and it has taken the previous varnish off. I hope the teak oil covers up this lighter section. I will let this dry out a bit further before I oil it. Okay, teak oil time. Teak oil, clean cloth and gloves. I'm making sure I'm using plenty of teak oil so that it soaks into the wood. I'm going to pour this directly onto the stool as it is a good way to get a lot of it on your cloth. It's really easy to put it on. All you've got to do is just rub it all over. I'll do about 2 or 3 coats and I'll let it dry out between each coat. Okay, now it's time to put the trim around the edge of this. I've got a couple of bits. I've got this leery bit. I'd really love to use this, but if I'm going to sell this, it's not worth it. I don't think it will sell. So I'm going to use this one, which isn't quite as loud, and it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is put this one on. I've got some 2cm tacks just to tack it in with. Okay, I'm going to make sure I put the join at the back corner so you don't really see it. These are the tacks that I'm going to use.
Why don't we give it all we've got? I won't ever forget what I've lost. Why don't we give it one more shot?
I'm going to make sure that I leave 3 loops between each tack I put in.
Give it one more shot. Give it all we've got, yeah. Give it one more shot.
Okay, now to finish the end bit, I'll put that under there. That goes over, but I'll fold it. Just work out where I need to cut it. So that hides then in the corner. Okay, I'll cut it about there. Okay, that should be hidden at the back okay, so it should be alright. Okay, that's great, that's all done now. So all I'm going to do is just attach it back onto the stool. Okay, that's the hinges screwed back in. All I've got to do now is just put this retainer on. What I've done is drilled a hole in there so that the rivet fits in there. Because it popped out before because it was sitting flush just against the wood. So I've drilled a hole so that the rivet end sits in there. And once I tighten the screws up, there's no chance of that rivet popping out. Great, that works. It just stays in that position there. And you just do that to make it go down. I'm just going to clean these bits up a bit as well, just to make it all nice. And I'll see if I can find some other screws just to go in there.
Give it all we got. Give it one more shot. Give it all we got, yeah. Give it one more shot.
Great, that all works now. Pretty solid. It's good. That's how you upholster a piano stool. I've got a matching set now. So I've got this one that I did previously and they match quite well. Thanks for watching and remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already and give the video a like. See you next time.
More shot.